long time no see, Isabel. Are you planning on coming out to my wedding? It's only in a couple more weeks now, and I'm sure you've heard about it, right? So you've really decided to get married then? At first I thought that I just misheard something and that you were going to wait a while longer. But this is great news. Congratulations. I plan to go to your wedding once Thomas and I have gotten the invitation from you. Oh, I was thinking about doing a stand-up lunch for my wedding party, but I guess that's going to be impossible for you, right? Because of that body of yours, right? I feel a little bit bad for you, but oh well, I guess. Maybe you're just going to have to sit my wedding out then. Again with those offensive comments? Is it really that fun for you to pick on me still because I'm in a wheelchair? You must never get tired of all those awful remarks. Well, it's just crazy that I have to have a sister-in-law who's a cripple of all things. Why, out of all the women my brother could have had, did he choose to marry you? All of those women he dated before were so cute and fun to talk to and could actually walk. But you? I'm not sure you should really be saying things like that about me. It's very rude and makes you seem like a narrow-minded bigot. You think that's rude? Oh, wait, does this mean that you have all the same kinds of emotions as us normal people do? I never thought you had the same thoughts and feelings as the rest of us, considering you can't walk. I thought all of you were more like animals and just went around eating and sleeping with not much going on behind those eyes. How dare you say something like that about us? What is the point in saying all of those cruel things, really? Are you just that happy to make fun of someone who can't walk at all? Or is there something else entirely that's going on? I really want to have the perfect wedding, you get that, right? So I was wondering if you could come without the wheelchair for me? You can at least move a little bit without it, right? Just a little. And if that's too much for you, how about you try crawling in? Sure, that'll go and ruin whatever dress you wear, but it's not like anything you have on will be brand clothing, right? Melina, how about you stop making fun of me like that right now? If you continue to carry on making fun of me over and over like that, you're going to end up really regretting it. People like you that are pretty much bound to your wheelchair, what's the point in keeping you all around? It's not like any of you guys have real jobs like us normal people and just cause trouble for all those around you. If all you guys are good for is causing trouble for the rest of us, you're better off just not existing, right? What are you wanting to say here? Had I stopped my brother from marrying you before it was too late, things would be a lot better for all of us now. He could be with one of those pretty girls from before that were a whole lot more fun to talk with. I should have told him to not go around women who are crippled like you are. It seems you don't have anything else important to say to me anymore, so can we call it here? Also, we're going to be seeing one another again very soon at the family gathering. Before that day comes, though, I think it's best you fix that attitude of yours towards me. If you continue to say things like that about me, you're only going to make yourself more enemies. And what would happen if the man you want to make your husband finds out about what you say to me? As long as you don't go around saying needless things to him, he'll never find out. Don't even tell my brother about all of this. He got really upset at me before for something like this, and I will not let that happen again. If you understand that all the things you're saying to me are enough to make people upset, then you should probably stop saying them, right? If you carry on with treating me like you did today, I'm going to have to think some more about what to do about you. I'm sorry, but wheelchair-bound trash like yourself can say all you want, but none of it is going to scare me. All you really are is useless garbage. So how about you go and make yourself home in the nearest trash can? I see. Well, congrats on the marriage and everything then. I look forward to seeing you again at the family gathering and the wedding. Considering that you don't even have a proper job, the only thing you can look forward to are those kinds of things. Seriously, what a pitiful life you're having to live over there. Doesn't it make you depressed that you can't even go to the beach or go on a roller coaster? I've told you plenty of times now that I'm not unemployed, right? And I can still enjoy plenty of really fun things that most would think would be impossible for me. By the way, when it comes to you yourself, Melina, you're not working at all, are you? You might be able to do all of those fun things, but you don't have the money to go out and do any of them, right? I can actually walk, which means that if I wanted to work a proper job, I could do it in a heartbeat. Is that right? Well, I'm happy you believe in something like that. Anyway, I'll see you later. We'll see about that.
I'm in disbelief right now. I never thought that Melina's sister-in-law would turn out to be you, Isabel.
I'm just as surprised as you are. When you sent me your invitation and I saw that you'd be getting married to Melina, I guess some coincidences really do happen.
A while back, I realized that she had the same last name as you, which stayed on my mind for some time. I thought that perhaps you were a cousin or something, but it turns out you're her sister-in-law of all people. I look forward to seeing you at our wedding.
And I look forward to seeing you there too. As for Melina and I, we don't actually talk to one another all that much. But I'm sure that over time she'll begin to soften up a little around me.
What? What do you mean by that exactly?
Nothing at all. That's something between her and I. By the way, Gage, have you not spoken with Melina at all yet about the kind of work you're doing?
What? I've talked with her about it before. Now, if she was actually listening to me or not, that's the real question.
I see. I guess when it comes to her, she does seem to get sidetracked a lot and ends up missing out on most of the conversation.
So you see her the same way I do then. Thank God it wasn't just me that thought she was a bad listener at times.
But I do think you should go and talk with her again about the kind of work you're doing in a bit more detail. It happens to be a job that you really care about a lot. And since you're going to be making her your wife soon, it's best that she's aware of all the things you're doing for work there, right?
That's a very good point. Alright, next time I have some free time around her, I'll tell her about my job some more.
But Gage, you don't have to tell her anything about the relationship you and I have with one another, all right? I'm sure that she'll have a lot of complaints about that.
A lot of complaints? Why would she want to complain about the relationship you and I have with one another?
Let's just say that some parts of the family are a bit more complicated than others.
Is that so? I'm not really sure what you're trying to get at there, but alright. We can always keep the relations you and I have a secret until the wedding, as a surprise.
A surprise, huh? I'm sure there will be a lot of things that will surprise a woman like Melina then. Anyway, please take another chance to talk with her about your line of work in a bit more detail. You don't have to bring me up any, just as long as you tell her about your job a bit more.
Will do. Also, there's one thing I'd like to ask of you. Would that be alright?
There's something you want to ask me? What is it? Melina, I took a lap around and wasn't able to find my seat anywhere. I thought I made sure to say yes to coming on your RSVP. By the way, it seemed that your seat wasn't even on the family's side, but on the side of the wedding where my groom's family will be seated. I'm not sure what happened with the planner or whoever that made them think they could have you seated over there, but don't you worry. I made sure to get rid of that seat for you. What? You got rid of the seat that was set for me? I didn't think that you'd really even want to come to my wedding anyway, and so I made sure to go and get rid of your seat for you. I'm so kind, aren't I? But the thing is, I said that I'd be coming here today on the RSVP to your wedding, right? I don't know how getting rid of my seat when I said that I would be coming makes you a very kind person. You're a real pain in my back, aren't you? Then blame the wedding planner, coordinator, whoever for this one. They weren't the ones that did any of this, though, as you just said it yourself that you got rid of my seat. Or maybe there was never even a seat here for me in the first place because you told them not to set it. Sorry for forgetting to set up a seat for a wheelchair-bound freak like you. If you really want to stick around and watch my wedding today, you can go to the back to stand and watch. What's it gonna be? I'm going home. You really have no grit, do you? I just forgot about your seat was all. So don't hold any of this against me, all right? Also, make sure not to tell anyone else about this, okay? Well, it's not like anyone is going to believe what a cripple in her wheelchair has to say to them anyway, right? They're all going to be focused on my cute little figure standing up here in my wedding dress today and would never want to go against me. I wonder about that. I'm heading home now, and I don't think that you and I will ever be seeing one another again. I have put up with you for a long while now, but this time what you did was far too much for me. From now on, I'm no longer going to forgive you for what you do and say. What's going on there? No matter what you have to say to me, cripple, it's not going to scare me into respecting you. Or are you trying to threaten me? Well, that's never going to work on me because, I don't give a crap about whatever you have to say about me. And I like to think it's going to be me that never has to see you in your wheelchair ever again. That's exactly right. And that is why from now on, I'm going to do as I please. But for today, I'm heading home. As for your wedding, let's just hope it ends well for you guys. Isabel, answer your phone! Things are not going well at all for me right now. What do you want? Where are you right now? I told you half an hour ago that I was heading home, so I've gone home. I don't have anything to talk with you about, so I'm not answering your calls, and I'm not going to text with you for much longer either. We're no longer meeting with one another or talking with one another. Hey, this isn't about any of that right now. This is about you being the CEO of the company my fiancé is currently working for? Are you seriously his CEO? Ah, so you're finally finding out about that? Gage was telling me that we could keep all of that a secret from you until today so that we could surprise you and all. But now you've been surprised by that news in the worst way at the worst time, right? What the heck? A surprise? So you really are his CEO then? So you were never lying to me about ruining your own company when you told me about it before? Why did you think that I was ever lying when I said those things to you? There's no reason to be making lies about something like running a company. I thought that you were just trying to say things that would make you look good, though. There's no way you can actually be the CEO of the company Gage is currently working for, though. And was today the day you were going to introduce yourself to me about that? Not just you, but everyone at your wedding, due to me being not only his boss, but the person he trusts to do so. And that's why I had everything prepared in order to do so. But before I could ever do that, I was turned away from the wedding by someone who said I didn't have a seat there. There was nothing else I could do, right? You were the one that wanted me gone, so I couldn't say anything else about it. Are you still close to the wedding venue right now? Do you think that you could make your way back here? I never knew about you being my fiancé's boss, and why would I have thought you'd be the one doing all the introductions today? The thing is, we need you here now. If you were the one Gage wanted doing all of that, then it's up to you. Gage is running around like a chicken with his head cut off, looking for you, so could you hurry up and come back here, please? Listen, Melina, did you ever listen to what Gage was telling you about the company he works at? You know, about what kinds of things it does? My company manufactures wheelchairs, and then we operate all of the stores across the country that sell them to hospitals and such. Huh? Your company manufactures wheelchairs? What? You guys don't manufacture chairs? Melina, you are really... you haven't even been listening to the things your future husband wanted to tell you about? I told Gage to go and have another talk with you about his job so that you could better understand what he does. Well, about that, I know that he was saying a bunch of things to me about it. The first thing I thought I heard from him is that his company makes chairs, and from there I didn't really care to listen anymore. So he's manufacturing wheelchairs? What? And that's the company you own and operate? That's right. But you went and said things to me that were very upsetting and were all related to me being in a wheelchair. I've made sure to tell Gage about what you'd said, considering that I am his CEO, for one, but also because you made fun of the things that he's so passionate about working on. Huh? Hold on a sec, you're joking, right? If you went and told him all about what I was saying to you, nothing good will come of it. And he's working in a field that makes wheelchairs, meaning he won't really like the things that I said. Nothing good will come of this? I'm pretty sure you're the only one who thinks that nothing good will come from what I've done. All I was saying was things that you'd said to me before, therefore you knew what you were saying wasn't good. Hey! People are now saying that the wedding is being canceled. And I was just told by Gage before he ran off that he no longer wants to see my face or talk to me ever again. How the hell are you going to take responsibility for this? This is all your fault, 100%. You're blaming me? So you still don't understand just how toxic of a person you really are deep down? Huh? You're calling me toxic now? All of those things that you were saying about me and all of the other people who have some sort of a disability and are in a wheelchair was going to get you in trouble with him, right? I think the only person who's to blame for all of this is you, since you were the one saying all those things. So why are you trying to blame me now? But you went and said all those unnecessary things to him, right? Had you just not done that, then this wedding would be fine and we'd all be happy. You're sure that's not all happening because you told me to go stand in the back and watch, even though I'm in a wheelchair? And then you told me to leave, so that's what I did. I was asked by Gage why I went home, and I gave him the honest reason for that. I explained everything that led up to this point. Why didn't you say some kind of lie about that so he wouldn't get upset at me? Are you having fun ruining my wedding today? Hey, how about you stop trying to put the blame on me and shut up? Melina, not taking responsibility for all of this is impossible now. You making fun of me for being in a wheelchair and the outcome of your wedding are all because of you. You said and did those things to me, therefore you are to blame for them. For a woman like you, stuck in a wheelchair, you have really gone and messed up my wedding and my relationship with Gage now. I can't believe this. Look, once again, you're going and making fun of me for being in a wheelchair, right? Melina, you called me unemployed trash multiple times because I can't walk, right? However, I'm the one running a company over here. Gage has been working for my company for 5 years now, and my company happens to be very large. Now, what was it you do again? What? What's it that I do? You seem to have a ton of fun picking on me like that, so what about yourself? What kind of work do you do? If my memory proves correct, you don't happen to have a job right now, right? I don't have one right now, but that has nothing to do with you, does it? Then wouldn't that mean you have no right at all calling me unemployed like you had been for a while now? Because, you're not doing anything at all right now. I always told you that I was going to work over and over again. Who the hell cares? I'm going to become a housewife now anyway. You will? You still actually think you're going to become a housewife? I heard you say that your wedding is being canceled now and that your fiancé no longer wants to marry you, though. Wait, I don't actually think that Gage was being serious then. Things are just getting a little bit crazy here is all, and we'll go back to normal soon. Gage is not that kind of person, Melina. To me, he seems to have lost faith in you now and no longer loves you. Which means that the feelings he had for you up until today are gone now and won't ever be coming back, right? This is not good at all. I'm not going to let you get away with any of this, Isabel. I'm going to cut ties to you. Please do that, actually. I was planning on doing that to you already, so everything should work out perfectly now. And my husband is planning on doing the same thing to you. Huh? Your husband? Are you talking about my brother? Who else would my husband be? Why would he want to cut ties to me as well now? He and I are brother and sister, so something like that is impossible. And by the way, Isabel, you're a part of my family as well, so you should think twice about all of this, right? Why the hell are you trying to destroy my wedding and chance of getting married? The only one that's gone and destroyed those two things are you, though. And the reason your brother, my husband, wants to cut ties to you now is because he wants to. What? This was all his idea in the first place. Thomas said that this was his idea? I knew it would be a pain in the butt to have to go through all of this, so up until today, I never said anything to him about the way you talked to me. But today, you kicked me out of your wedding of all things. Had I not told him and Gage the truth, then neither one of them would have been able to grasp what happened to me right. That's why I explained everything that had happened to me to them. And I'm telling them everything you're saying to me right now as well. You're lying, right? Thomas asked me why I never told him any of these things about you before today. He said that had he told me sooner, he could have done something about your unforgivable behavior. I told him that before I still had some faith in you and that you'd change and start to be open with me. But that never happened and things ended in the worst possible way. So from now on, don't expect to be seeing your brother and I anymore. How dare you go telling my own brother about all of this? You're a jerk! I hope you haven't gone and told my parents about any of this. You still haven't, right? I think my husband's going to do that for me. I would never go and say things like this to your parents when he can do it all for me. But maybe it will have to be the both of us that explain this to them, since both he and I no longer want to be around you and will no longer be talking to you either. Wait, don't do that. You're going to make me look bad in front of everyone. Why are you doing all of this to me? You're asking me that? You and I have nothing to do with one another anymore. Now, I'm sorry to hear about what's happening to your wedding. Go and change that horrible attitude of yours, please, before trying to get married again. How How about you begin to realize that it's you, the unemployed asshole of a child, that's trash and not the paraplegic CEO? Isabel, why are you not answering any of my calls lately? I am in serious trouble right now. I've been trying to contact my brother about all of this as well, but he won't respond to me. He told me that he doesn't plan to rely on you anymore, so don't expect anything else from him. Isabel, I've thought about everything and am really sorry now, so could you please talk with Gage and tell him to give me another chance? If he doesn't come back to me, I'm not going to have the marriage I've been dreaming of, and I won't have a job. I'm being abandoned by my family one by one, and it sounds like my parents are going to kick me out of their house soon. If I don't have any money or a place to stay, what am I going to do? Melina, you said it yourself, didn't you? You told me that you can actually walk, which means you can get a job wherever you please. Which means you should just be fine without your parents' house and their money, right? I know I said that back then, but I might have been wrong, per se. I have no idea what you're talking about right now. By the way, none of this has anything to do with me. And it sounds like Gage has moved out of his old place and is long gone now, so could you please stop trying to find him? Stop acting like a lost child and get a job already, Miss Unemployed Lowlife. If you have all that time to be talking poorly about others, then how about using it instead to fix your own problems?
Did you hear anything else from Melina? I think she might have texted you again, so I'm sorry about that.
I told her to stop trying to stalk you, so I'm sure that's going to be enough from her now. I think it's getting pretty close to that point where she'll open her eyes and see the reality for what it is.
It's too bad I was never able to become a part of your family. But at least I didn't have to marry someone who never cared about you as their sister-in-law.
And as far as I'm aware, you're still like family to me. If there is ever anything you need from me, you just say something and my husband and I will be there.
Will do. And next time, I'm going to make sure the woman I want to marry actually listens to me and understands my line of work. Till that time comes, I'm going to get right back to work and give it 110%.
Hearing that from you makes me really happy and proud of you. I guess that means you're really going to continue being my company's ace then, right?
Of course. I'll work as hard as I need to in order to keep the company strong. Isabel, thank you so much for being such a close CEO to me.
And thank you for being both a good businessman of mine and a great friend. I'm so happy to have someone like you in my life who not only understands the importance of things like wheelchairs, but also understands the people who use them. Gage, thank you. After Gage was able to move to the other side of town, he was no longer stalked by Melina and was able to return to the life he had before going out with her. Melina, however, had a much harder time getting past what she'd done and moving on with her life, having to now support herself. The day that the wedding was canceled and Gage walked out with all of his family, she broke down and ended up destroying a lot of furniture at the wedding venue before her dad came and stopped her. She was taken back home by him and her mom, but not before the venue staff handed her a large bill for the wedding and told her that they'd be charging her for all the things she'd broken later. After getting home, both her parents told her that they'd pay for the wedding, not because it was their responsibility, but because it was the last thing they'd ever do for her. And so a few days later, when the bill came in the mail asking for her to pay for all the damages she caused, her parents kicked her out of their house and disowned her. I never planned on meeting with Melina ever again after that day. But from what some of the family has told me about her, she's moved off to go and live in this really cheap company housing while working in what seems to be a bit of a shoddy office building. Somehow it seems she's making things work out, but only barely when you're thinking about her living conditions. I can't tell if her now having a job means that she'll be paying that wedding venue the money they'd asked for, but I really hope she does, since it is really the optimum choice for her. I'm sure that wedding fiasco was really embarrassing for her, but I like to think it was a great way of finally getting her to realize the wrongs of her ways. I'm very thankful my husband never turned out the kind of person she was, and has always supported and defended me. And I can feel that our lives are going to be a whole lot better now with her no longer being a part of them. Recently in Gage's life, he's come across this new girl in the office, and they've both started dating. And as both his boss and his friend, I'm rooting for him knowing that she will not be anything like the toxic mess that his ex was. He and I haven't really talked about this much yet, but I'm thinking after he gets married with her and everything, I'm going to surprise him by paying for their honeymoon, no matter where they choose to go. That's the least I can do for him after all he's given to my company, and after what he had to go through as well at his previous wedding. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.